Welcome in. I have a tendency of just saying hello, hello, hello whenever I hit record instantly. But it takes a minute for it to click in. Anyway, we're going to be talking about dreams and dream interpretations, dream knowledge, why it's important, and what your dreams are. More than just exploring the astrals, okay? So, first things first. Every dream has a meaning. I don't have very many notes on this. I just had key points I wanted to talk about because this shit is clocked in here like none other. The rest of stuff I need refreshers on because I have amnesia. Not actually, but humanoid amnesia. Anywho, every dream has a meaning. Everything that happens in a dream has a meaning. Every color, every scent, every sound, every character, every person, every action, every location, everything, including if you are omniscient or I guess this would be first person. Yeah. Depending on, like, everything matters when it comes to a dream, okay? But we not we, but humans as a whole get very stuck on stimulation. Stimulation is a fun thing. Everyone likes to be stimulated, yay, but it's also kind of a curse because it keeps you from remembering who you are and what you need to pay attention to. So, what is a dream? Well, a dream is a sequence of sensations or images passing through the mind of a sleeping person. And sleep is to fall asleep, to be or fall asleep, or to lie or remain dormant or inactive, okay? So, daydreaming is a form of you being inactive because you're not in an active state. You're just dazed off, right? When you're asleep, that same thing happens. When you are in an energy of not moving, when you are idle, is when you dream. Okay? So, we're going to talk about this. This might be a little bit longer one. I don't know how much detail we're going to give with this, but we're just going to let it run until I decide not to talk no more. So, first things first. Colors in dreams. They matter, okay? As we know, everything has a purpose, and you wouldn't be seeing anything if it wasn't for you. So, we'll back up a little bit, actually. We'll talk about dreams and how it is like the astral travel. When you dream, yeah, it's going into the astrals, right? But remember, that is your soul, your spirit, respectfully, depending on which ether you are, going out and experiencing things that it needs to experience to relay back to you in your vessel, okay? Some people astral travel to go see what's going on in the world around them. Some people dream and they see people and how they're interfering with their energy. And that is a whole other thing that we'll dump really into because we need to talk about that to eliminate fears and oh no's across from that. Um, Going from person and all these other things. Going into the past and being stuck in the past is a form of a dream state, and thinking too much in the future is also a form of a dream state because you're either in a state of memory, which is past, or a state of existential, which is outward and forward. So be aware of these states, know what state you're in, and understand that that state has a specific meaning as well as what you experience in that specific meaning. If you have a dream, and we'll talk about this way, if you have a dream, let's say you had a dream that repeated a lot in your childhood, right? And then as an adult, that dream comes back and you have it again. And it leaves that confused feeling like, oh, what is that? Like, why did I have this dream again? Well, you had it again because that part of your childhood is surfacing up in some way. There was some sort of fear, some sort of emotion, some sort of physical, emotional, spiritual, mental thing happening within that state of your childhood that you are now revisiting at a different state of mind, of different character, however, right? So it's important to know that when you have these dreams of going into the past, and having those past dreams or seeing people from the past, it's because there's something that they did or something not that they did. Let me say something better. Not something that they did, because we're not going to like be that victim mentality with this. We are going to say something you had experienced through a mirror of you that has lied dormant within inside of you that is being re-triggered back up due to a reluctancy or knowing how to overcome and or heal whatever events transpired, okay? So being very aware of that. It's very important. Okay. So let's go back to the colors and stuff. Let's say you have a dream and it has no color. Well, that means you're not experiencing something. That means you are not experiencing the thing. A lot of dreams that don't happen in color mean that you're not a prophetic dreamer, so there's no real need to worry about those dreams coming to life. But if you're seeing something in black and white and that's all your dreams are, and you're not able to make out faces or anything, that's because you are blocking off part of you and you're not being your full expressive self. We're not a monochrome thing. We're not monochrome here. Okay, we see in color. We can see people's faces. We can make discernments. So not being able to see people's faces or not seeing colors is a lack of discernment. Even could be a possible like ignorance of what you need to be doing. But when you see color, that's the full spectrum. That means you're very aware. You know what's going on. But there are things within that need answered, right? So how do you know if a color is important? Well, what this color is the theme. So are you interacting with an object of a certain color? Are you looking around and seeing a primary color? And not primary meaning fucking red, blue, or yellow. Primary meaning like in your face. Like a primary, it's there. It's the first thing. It's the root color, basically. Looking around, like you look around and the sky is like red. What does that mean? What does red mean? What does the color reds mean? And don't look up that. You can, if you want the best result, look up what the color red means and then put the word occult after it. Okay, you can put spiritual after it, but that's not going to give you what it's really there for. The occult will. The occult will tell you what's hidden. The spiritual will tell you what man has come up with and like, oh my god, this sounds cute. So beware of that, okay? People want you to be afraid of the occult because it's like, oh, it's dark and scary and it has the word cult in it. But those people are like brain dead. They don't know what they're talking about. So just push them to the side. They don't need to be here, okay? As well as the object. So if it's a sky, that's red. What does the sky mean? Occult. Like look up the occult things for the sky, what goddesses are with the sky, all those things. Get information. And then you look at the color red and compare those two, right? Or let's say you have like a green ball, right? What does a ball mean? What is a ball exactly, right? Why is it green? Those things are important, right? So focusing on that, focusing on what your dream is trying to show you. Doesn't matter how silly it may seem, it's always important. One thing that I used to get a lot when I did dream readings was people wondering why people in the past, especially people that they cut cords with or have recently been trying to get away from, pop up in their dreams. And that is a sign of you needing to confront your fears or confront what that person has then converted you to believe is true about yourself. Because you wouldn't be believing things about someone else unless you believed it about yourself first. Because in order to dictate anyone doing anything, you must have first have been in that position to know if you call someone this name or that name is because you yourself have all that and you are conscious enough to pick up on an action that is doing that. Okay, that's why you end up getting angry or you end up getting all these emotions or things, right? So being aware of that. Another thing that you need to pay attention to when you see these past people, their actions towards you in the dreams are very important. Not just other people, but actions in general. That does not mean they are sitting there actually doing it to you, because most of the time it's not. Most of the time it's showing you that this person, like, oh Lord, how are we going to talk about this? There's so many ways we can talk about this. So if someone has excessive dominating force to any degree, whatever label you want to put on that, that is because you've allowed them control over your life. Whether you want to say it, say, no, they don't have control over my life. Well, if you're having a dream about them dominating you, yes, they do. You would not have had that dream of someone dominating you if you did not have control over, I mean, unless they had control over you. Now, if you're having dreams and you're dominating people, that means you're taking your power back from those people. That means you have recognized the toxic traits, the patterns that they have put on, and you are beginning to remove those things off of you instead of allowing those things to come over to you and control you and manipulate you, right? Same thing goes for animals. If there's an animal that's attacking you, what does that animal represent? Why is it attacking you? Why does it feel like it's using a form of aggression towards you? What is causing that fear to come upon you to make it attack you? Because animals don't attack unless they get the fair amount of fear to know that, oh, I have the upper hand now because you have a lot of fear and I don't have that much. So that means if you do anything stupid, I can do whatever the fuck I want because you can't. I'm in control. So if I move forward, you best move back. You know what I mean? So paying attention to that. Paying attention to locations. If it's a childhood home, that's a childhood issue that you're going to deal with. Okay? If it's a place where you go all the time, like let's say your dream is based in your room. Well, your room is usually your sanctuary, your safe place. So why are there people within your safe space? Why have you allowed people in your safe space to allow discomfort or perversion around you, right? These are the things that you must be aware of when it comes to dreams. Don't put, because a lot of people, and this is coming from a very, very deep shamanic point of view, when they come and ask for dream readings, they want to know, why are they attacking me in my dream state? Why are you attacking yourself in the dream state is the question that you really want to ask, because those people in a dream state are not there to attack you. That is you making a projection, a hologram, if you will, of that person in the world that you have now created for yourself to relax and sleep in, to then attack you. So why are you attacking yourself in the dream state? Well, because that's the most active state. Not the most active state, I should take that back. It is the most vulnerable state you can be in, where you do not have much control over, oh, I don't want this to happen. I mean, some do, but most don't. And when those things happen, you have a choice to switch the power in the dream state. And when you do, that's just showing an active battle between not having power and then having power whenever it's like during the action phases of things. So paying attention to the locations of things and the people and what you're doing to yourself in the dream, because that is your imagination creating those things, right? And those things would not be in your imagination if the energy of those things did not resonate with who you were or to a lesson that needed to be learned, as well as the actions that that flesh may have done on the physical relating to the energy in the dream. That wouldn't be affecting you either if there was not a lesson to be learned. That's usually why whenever I talk about having dreams, I mollywop people, because I take my power back. I don't sit and let them do as they please. It's my energy, so I can take it back completely. I've took most of my energy back for most of the people around me. There are just a few things that we have to settle in the background for things. And that's the same thing with everyone. So really pay attention to who's in your dreams, because those are the people that have been dictating your life the most. Without you even really wanting to admit it, maybe you subconsciously you're consciously denying it, but you subconsciously know it. And that's what's going on, right? Your clothing matters. Tight clothing matters. Loose clothing matters. The attire that you have on, if so you can see it, matters. It matters for the other people as well, but it's more for you. The more constraints you feel, the tighter the clothes, the more stress you have, right? It's all about that. Whenever you have pain in your dreams, right? Let's say you're having a dream and you start feeling pain in certain parts of your body. Well, those parts of the body relate to the chakra system, which we do talk about a lot. And if you need to, you can look up the Auratus videos in the classes section, which highly suggest to go to the classes section if you wish to learn some things, because we talk about some things in there, okay? But going there and looking at the Auratus system, which is just a chakra system, but it's the Kemetic version, it's the original, it's, right? And it will show you the locations of what aurat or chakra is being affected. So let's say your arm is being affected. Like, oh, you wake up and you have a big pain on your left arm. Well, that means your heart chakra is being attacked somewhere spiritually. So there's some form of shadow work that you need to do to get rid of that spiritual block. If it's spiritual, go within. If it's physical, work it out on the outside. If it's a right arm pain, it's because, oh, I'm not doing something on the physical that my heart or your soul or for others, the divine has put into you that you need to do, but you're not doing out of maybe fear or reluctancy or just not wanting to do it, not knowing how to. But it's, again, that comes from not listening. But all these things are important, even positions. So if you have a dream, and this is like advanced, a lot of people don't remember the position of their dreams. Okay, now positions can root from multiple things. Positions can be from where your point of view is focused at. Position could be if it's you walking to people or people coming to you. Positions can even be, is the dream focused more on the right side, the right side or the left side, of the dream space that you're in, right? So let's say you're having a dream about a building and you're on the right side of that the whole time. Well, that building has some form of physical attachment to you that your soul, your spirit, or the divine are wanting to tell you about. Is it that exact building? Maybe. For prophets, most likely. For others, might not be, but it could be. But there's something about a building that you're needing to work with or work on or go to for work or however, but it's on the right side. The right side is physical, the left side is spiritual. That's why the heart is on the left side of the body, because it shows you that the left side is spiritual and the right side is physical. Okay, we would, if not, we would have the heart on the right side. I don't know what the fuck we would have on the left side, just empty space, most likely, because that's what's the only thing over there. So, anywho, knowing your body is important, though. And that's another thing with knowing dreams. If you don't know your body, you will not know what these dreams are trying to tell you. Knowing your body is to focus on yourself. So if you're focused on other people and then you start having dreams of those people, it's because you're actively giving them energy, right? But in those dreams, the actions that conspire mean a lot more. Items and objects also in dreams, I forgot to mention that, are very important to look at as well. When you have certain items involved or weaponry, those all matter as well. Everything in the dream matters, as if it didn't, you wouldn't have seen it. Now, for those that can't remember their dreams, you usually have some form of feeling going on that you should be aware of. And if you're not aware of, you need to do meditation to calm your nerves, to tap in and regulate your nervous system so that you can actually start feeling what's going on rather than just being like, oh, it's a blank space. Sometimes you don't feel what you feel as nothing is actually known as bliss. Being in a state of perpetual excitement, right? It's the perfect, it's peace. So when you don't feel anything, you're in a state of peace, which is good, right? So if you wake up with a bunch of heart palpitations, there's anxiety. There's something that scares you. And it's not that, well, it is that you're scared of those people. If you wake up from a dream and like start having heart palpitations, you're beating really fast, or you woke up from a dream being chased and you're scared of that, it's because there's fear of that thing. And if you're having a dream of something chasing you, that means something's coming at you, and you know it is, and you need to be ready for it, whatever that is. It don't apply it to the flesh, because the flesh doesn't mean a damn thing when it comes to dreams. What is that flesh doing? What actions have been happening between that person that's causing that to happen? For some, it depends. If you're a prophetic dreamer, yes. If you're not, use your discernment. Okay, this is why we need to learn how to read our dreams. Your location also being inside or outside. If you're inside, it's because you're boxing yourself in. If it's outside, it's because you have a sense of freedom. Sometimes when you have dreams of being inside and it's a very big building with a lot of space, not really many hallways, it's because you are in a very, very big box and you're just trying to find your way around it so you know what all you can do. Also just going into a new chapter. But if you have a dream per se of like a big room and it has a bunch of hallways, it's because you're finding yourself through the maze of hallways. It's you're finding the path that you need to take to be able to leave the building, right? Usually when people have those types of dreams. They'll wake up right before they find the exit, or they'll wake up after a certain action happens. And that's because that was the key that you needed, was there's an action that you need to be aware of, either from a person, um, either doing an action that a person was doing to you or you're doing to a person. If you have someone mocking you in your dream, they're most likely talking shit about you in real life, so that tells you to back up from them, right? If you have a dream of someone talking shit about you and then you end up hitting them, that's because you took your power back. That's why people in the dream state, they'll freeze up and sit still if you hit them, because you literally took your power back. The power that you gave them to even come into your dream in the first place, it makes them inanimate. Now, if someone's astral traveling to you and they do that, that's a whole other thing, because dreams and astral travel are different subjects. So we're only worrying about the dreams for now. But if you do have people astral projecting to you at the time of your dream state, you'll also know. It's a different thing. We'll talk about it soon. But right now we're going to talk about this in the dreams. But waking up, how you wake up matters. If you taste something, that matters. If you smell something, that matters. When you wake up and you start seeing stuff, that also matters. It's all showing you something. And you have to be aware, like, what does it taste like? You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know what things taste like, so they think on it, and it's like, oh, this tasted like poison, or this tasted like that, instead of diving into the feeling. How did it feel? Was it tingly? Was it metallic? Was it hot? What does it mean? There's all sorts of poisons that taste different types of ways, so you need to find out yourself, what the fuck does it taste like? What did it smell like? What are the characteristics? People don't focus on the detail when it comes to dreams, because you're so busy not focusing on the detail in reality that when a dream comes in, you do the same thing. No, it's a reverse. It's a mirror realm. It's a mirror effect. You want the details for the dream. They are important to a degree, especially if you're wanting a precise, really good dream reading. I recently did a dream reading where someone gave very, very good detail, and I was able to nail in all sorts of things, very specific things, that allowed help and allowed the best advice to come through. If you ask any shaman for a dream advice, they'll ask you, what was the dream about? And it's up to you and how comfortable you are with doing so, right? It's up to you and letting loose and making that sacrifice of being like, well, because I want help, let me tell you everything that this dream had, instead of like the small details because I'm scared of being judged or XYZ. That's probably what the dream's trying to tell you in the first place, is that you're not even believing in yourself enough to express what you're dreaming. And that's another thing with dreams. But when you don't know your body, when you don't pay attention to your body, it leads to confusion and fear. You don't remember who you are, you feel vulnerable, you think that everything bad is going to happen to you. But in actuality, that's not the case at all. The thing is with the body is you're leaving to go into the dream realm, and then you come back into the body. A lot of sleep paralysis gets a bad name because you believe that it's someone keeping you from going back to bed, when it's really, sleep paralysis is a stage of going into the astrals, which is really funny. And if you're not ready, then your soul won't leave. Your soul, or your spirit, whichever you have respectfully, has a little escape button that it can use, and when it's ready to leave, it will hit it. But if your brain is not equipped yet to be ready to leave, and it's not because you're gonna die, it's because you think you're gonna die, which causes you to be like, well, you're not ready yet, let me keep you in this meat suit because you're not ready to see what's out there yet. But if you don't have that fear and you're able to make it through that, you just eject out and you go up to the astrals. You have a little silver cord and it follows you all the way through. And then when it's time, it yanks back. You know what I mean? But it's that fear. It's that perpetual darkness. It's that true self that you're afraid of that then requires shadow work. There's so many words that define dimness or darkness that we tend to be afraid of that actually are the creation. you know, it started as darkness, and then light happened, and then it went to dark again. You know what I mean? That's the cycle. It goes back to goes back to light, goes back to dark. It started off with dark though, because you have to have nothing before you have something, and then when you have something it can become nothing, but something can't become nothing without it already becoming nothing before something, right? As it's not really confusing, but that's the logistics of God as well, to a degree. So don't be in the comments when like, well, it's deeper than that. I no shit, Sherlock. Congratulate. You want a cookie? Like, we're here trying to teach. Don't be weird like that. Take ass somewhere else, okay? Baby steps. We're teaching people that aren't as smart as you, and if you wish to go off and teach, go for it, but this is not the place for you to put your little butt out and make an opinion about how I'm teaching, because you're not me, and you're not doing it in the first place, so hush. But regardless, y'all know I love having fun over here like that. It's very important to make sure that you pay attention to your whole body. Like even before falling asleep, before you do that, you might have a weird feeling before you go to bed. Pay attention to that. If you can remember it, good. If you can't, don't worry. Don't worry about so much of the physical when you're going into the dream state, because you're going back into theta brain, which is basically your you. It's the ages between like birth and 5. That you're in theta. That's where you're the most malleable. It's not from birth. I think it's from 6 months to 5. I'm pretty sure is what theta is. But it's your most vulnerable state of mind. That's where you learn all your things. It's your subconscious. It's your program center. So when you enter your dreams and go back into your program center, you're allowing yourself the opportunity to deprogram yourself. And as well as, if you don't actually hit theta, which is the dream state, listen to theta binaural beats while you go to sleep. You don't have to have headphones in, you can just play them. People say, but headphones in for best experience. You don't need headphones in, because subconsciously you pick up on all the frequencies, but consciously, because our brains are not advanced enough to pick up on every frequency, same thing as every light, we don't perceive it, but we think it doesn't exist, which is again a very basic human flaw of I can't see it, so it's not existing, which goes on to, oh, I can't feel it, so it doesn't exist, or I can't hear it, so it doesn't exist, I can't taste it, so it doesn't exist. It does. Just because I can't taste the plastic in this water when I drink it out of this plastic bottle does not mean that there's plastic in the water. Just because they put metal in our food and we don't taste it does not mean that metal, that, see how they play on us like that? Anyway, I love teaching y'all like this. It's very fun. But everything matters when it comes down to this, okay? Every last little tidbit. So really pay attention. You keep a dream journal. If you can, keep a dream journal. If you can't, it's okay. Don't worry. Keep a journal of how you feel before you go to bed. Keep a journal. If you are afraid to go to sleep, write that down. If you are ready to go to sleep, write that down. Study yourself. Study yourself. Study yourself so that you know what's going on. Writing down your dreams. Going into meditative states, even if it's for like 5 minutes, and writing it down. Going into a daydream state and writing that down. Like, oh, I had a really cool daydream about this, and that. It made me feel like this. Writing those things down. Knowing how you act. Knowing who you are when you're inactive is the best part. Because when you are active, you're the 5 senses. You're the 5 senses, and then you're the 6th sense with the spirit or the ether. So you're just trying to combine. You're basically fighting 5 against 1, which is why the 1 in the heart, the spirit of the soul respectively, doesn't fight back when the 5 senses are inflared, because it's like, well, there's no use to fighting. Not only that, but it's connected straight with source, and why would the divine need to fight you? You understand? Like, the only thing that fights you is the devil. That's why the devil has 5 hands held up on the devil card on tarot. Let me just pull it out for you. Let me just pull it out. You see, listen. If you want, I'm gonna make tarot lessons at some point, y'all. Because if you want to learn about who you are and learn about life, you pick up a tarot deck, and not just any tarot deck. You pick up a Radiant Waiter White tarot deck, and you start learning some shit. Okay. There is a reason on the devil card why his left hand is up and why it's covering the female. Every card shows you that the left is feminine and the right is masculine for that reason. Every female is on the left, every masculine is on the right, and if it's not that way, it's the masculine walking towards the feminine, and that's because the five senses have to come down into the heart to condense down into simpler things, not into condense down to one because one is imaginary, but it's to condense itself down so it can be like, hey, this is what you need to do. But anyway, the five senses, the five hands is the five senses on the feminine, which is why she's not moving. The tail, the fruit is sucked in. It's not fruitful. It's not abundant. And then you have the hand down, which is inflaming the masculine's tail. They're both tied to the black box of Saturn, which is Satan, which is the 3D realm. The devil has bat wings to say that you're blind as a bat. Only thing that's going to affect what you get is echolocation, is hearing. The star, the pentagram, if you want to say, or the pentacle. No, it's not a pentacle, it's a pentagram, it's a star. It's down because it's matter over mind, which is as well as why it's on the crown, okay? But the bat wings, the horns, your animalistic is the horns. Anything with horns is an animalistic thing. Understand that, please. And take that knowledge and apply it to everything. Anything with horns implies an animalistic trait, or the animalistic mind that we have as humans. But really, we're not gonna jump too deep into it, but y'all know. But yeah, paying attention to dreams, paying attention to your five senses, paying attention to your heart space as well. And it may be hard to pay attention to your heart space because again, when you're dreaming, you're using your senses, you're using your sight, your inner sight, your third eye, your spiritual eye, along with all the 72 goetic demons that are within your third eye that then relate to everything on the 3D, statures, tall buildings, fire, all sorts of things, right? But it's important to know that. It's important to, as well, when you come out of the dream state, to pay attention to the heart space. How do you actually feel? Sit back and think. Don't react. Don't be like, oh my God, I'm gonna die, or oh my God, something bad's happening. Sit back and actually like feel what's going on. Because your brain will be so inflamed by all the things that just happened that it's going to assume something is bad. Whenever a lot of movement is not always a bad thing, right? Seeing a lot of things is not always a bad thing. Hearing a lot of things, like if there's an audience and they're cheering, is that a bad thing? No. When they're screaming, it is, but your brain can only identify that based off what it's seeing. So when you see someone or something that triggers the demon inside of you that you're ignoring and pushing down instead of healing, it's going to make you feel like something bad's going to happen because you're pushing that energy back in yourself, which is not what your body wants to do. You're fighting yourself, so don't fight yourself. But again, with dream interpretations, everything matters. Begin to dream journal. Mugwort tea helps you remember dreams. Garlic will help you remember dreams. And keep you protected in dreams if you wish to feel protected in them. But really, you just need protection from yourself by doing actual shadow work and diving deep within. Knowing the difference between someone being in a astral projection state and a dream state is also very important as well, which is why we're going to go over that. But for now, when you lay your head down to go to bed, it is not a sign of someone attacking you when you see them. It is a form of you showing yourself what you're refusing to look at internally. Because if you go into the astrals and you're having an alien battle and then you come back down to here and like, what the fuck were those aliens? Well, if you don't know what those aliens were, it's because you're fighting something that you don't even know what you're fighting. You're just fighting to fight. And when you figure out what those aliens were, let's say that they were Lyrians, right? That means you're fighting the Lyrians or something, or you're fighting with the Lyrians. That means you're needing to either have courage in combat if you're fighting with them, or if you're fighting Lyrians, there's something that you're fighting yourself and saying that you're not courageous enough to do yet, which is causing that strife inside of you. That's just a simple example. The Lyrians pop through and want me to say that for you all. But it's very important. Everything down to the nitty-gritty matters. If you have a dream of someone saving you, right? Let's say that, because we don't need to be talking about attacking all the time. Let's say you have a dream of someone saving you. That is because someone has given you the answers to set yourself free, but you still need to set yourself free as you're reluctant on the energy of someone else to still do those things. And though that person in the dream may not energetically have an issue with it in that dream state, it is because they are doing something along with their life path, and you are needing to as well jump on that path and heal from that as well. A need to feel protected is a need of defenselessness, but knowing what you need to do, right? So again, like paying attention to those dreams. If you need help with your dreams, I do dream readings, and I do very good dream readings because I go down to the nitty gritty and I meditate on them. And if there's anything at all that I need to study on, I study on it before I do the dream reading. I'm very, very well versed in dream interpretations. We're not going to go too deep into this because we're not here running advanced classes. I'm just here trying to help you all understand these things better, because it's important to know. You don't always have to pay someone to do a dream, and you don't need cards to do a dream. I don't even use cards when I do dream interpretations. I just tell you because I'm a shaman. I know the symbolisms of things. I write them down. I say this is that, and this is what that means, and yada yada yada, and this connects to that, and wazi whoop. So it doesn't take cards to read a dream. If it take like that's a weird way of reading dreams in my opinion, at least. I don't really know who would need to. You would have better luck looking at a candle, and reading a dream than really using cards at that point, because you would be able to direct the energy better and whatever was a woo. You know what I mean? But again, if you need dream interpretations, I do very good ones. I have done a lot of them, and I have had no complaints. I don't really get complaints with my readings unless like it's from a karmic, and that's only happened once. That happened way, 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 way back in the day, and that was kind of funny. Long story short, I called someone a Queen of Swords reverse, and then they proved that they were a Queen of Swords in reverse by how they responded to my reading. They cussed me out and everything. I was like, okay, sure, you're not a Queen of Swords reverse. Awesome, I got you. Whatever. Anywho, y'all know me. Y'all know how I am. Y'all know the accuracy. Y'all know everything. Because, I'm showing you everything. But regardless, this is about the dream interpretations. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I might come back and revisit this to go a little bit more in depth for things, but regardless, we're just here to plant seeds. So if this is something that interests you, highly go into it. If you need a good resource, I don't remember the name of the place of the site, but if you need a good resource to know what's happening in your dreams, email me, and I can send you that site. Because it has a lot of very valuable information, and it's from someone that knows as well about dream interpretations. But most of my dream interpretations come from just meditating on the message and knowing like symbolisms and stuff. That's why I literally have this gigantic book as well. Getting this book, if you can find it, I don't know if they're even in stock anymore, but this book is very, very good for dream interpretations. I just now realized that symbol on the back. That's hilarious. Anyway. Anywho, this has been about dreams. I hope y'all enjoyed. I love these teaching classes. We're doing them more. I just had to configure a few last things, do some extra work with up in the ethers. I had to do a few soul transfers. I had to talk to Anu and all sorts of fun things, but we're back in action. I love each and every one of y'all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. Everything's in the description that you need. I'll keep y'all updated on the Gumroad stuff. I gotta do a few more things, unfortunately, before I get that up and running. But the site is up. You just can't order anything off. You could, but I wouldn't get paid, which isn't an issue. But I want to make sure that everything's up and running for everyone at first, because I also don't even know if it would cause an issue with you buying the services anyway. So regardless, I love you all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever. Everything's in the description. I hope this helped you. And email me if you need any help with these dream interpretations. I got you. But I will see you all later. Please take notes on this. Buy a dream journal. Do something to really, really help you with your dreams, or not even just with your dreams, your daydreams, thinking back into the past. or even just how you feel when you get caught up in your mental, it's good to journal it out so that you know what's going on, and then you can interpret it not based off the flesh but based off the words that you write down, and then it makes you understand more. Oh, this action happened because XYZ. It should, at least. And if you need help with that, I can definitely make one to walk you through, make another video to help y'all walk you through that sort of process as well. But I love you all to the moon and back, tenfold and forever, and